During the capture of the settlement of Yablonevka, the brigade's artillery was firing at enemy strongpoints, as well as engaging in counter-battery operations targeting enemy mortars and artillery pieces. Information was coming in from scouts, and accordingly everything was immediately subjected to fire. The enemy was on the defensive. The intensity was very high, since the enemy was putting up stiff resistance and not allowing us to simply pass by, so to speak. Combat operations are being conducted around the clock.
There is an opinion that with the emergence of a huge number of drones, traditional artillery is kind of taking a backseat, and in general maybe at some point it might become unnecessary. What do you think about such theories?
No, I believe that artillery has worked and will continue to work for a long time to come. Despite current technologies, artillery still has its purpose.
What is its advantage, for example, over drones? All weather, for example. Is that right?
Yes, artillery is all weather. In other words, we are not afraid of frost or severe cold, let's say, nor rain, nor snow.
How much does the enemy use counter-battery fire? Does it become difficult to work?
Yes, the enemy also uses 155 caliber against us, long-range guns. These are cluster munitions and precision-guided ones, like Excalibur. For long-range guns, they use HIMARS, that is the HIMARS multiple launch rocket system.
In general terms, the situation is stable. We continue to carry out our tasks. We are gradually pushing the enemy back. We continue to conduct assault operations, and we are finishing off the enemy in the settlement. In fact, we have already completed this in Yablonovka, and thus we are already approaching the completion of our mission. Also, accordingly, the actions of each group are being worked out. Each sector is divided into sections and sectors, and specific tasks are assigned directly to the assault groups. So, before moving on to the main objective, everyone already has an understanding of where each strong point is, where the positions are, and what needs to be done. In other words, everyone knows exactly which pair needs to move where and which position to occupy. Therefore, basically, every fighter knows where to go, where they should come from, and where they need to end up, and where to establish a foothold. So, in general, there aren't really any major problems. One group, a pair, or a trio secures their position. Then the advance continues as other pairs and trios move forward. And so, little by little, we take control of one tree line, then the second, then the third, and we accomplish our objectives. The communication is stable, yes. The groups are always in contact. The groups are being accompanied, that is, the group is not moving independently with the support of UAVs from the air. We control the actions of the groups. We also control the movement of the groups. And basically, we always know where the group is, in which area, in which location. When the enemy approaches, the groups also get in touch. We warn them. And we have full control over the course of the assault operations.
Who is the enemy on the other side? What units are there exactly?
As for the units here, I wouldn't say there's just one. On their side, it's a real mixed bag. Because, as I understand it, they gather everyone here, not literally everyone, but people from different units. At the start of our operation, this actually worked to our advantage during the rotation. Some would come in, others would leave, and as a result, they had a bit of confusion. We took advantage of that confusion, increased our efforts, and as a result advanced through the forest belts.
But which units are these? So are these airborne troops or?
There are airborne troops as well. Territorial defense.
What's the simplest key to survival?
The deeper you dig in, the longer you live. That's basically our principle.